before the video starts, about 98% of you guys are not subscribed. Subscribing and clicking that bell does help me out a lot in doing what I really want to do. Thank you guys so much for all your support. What is going on, guys? Rogue TCG here bringing another Yu-Gi-Oh video. This is going to be an Orcust combo tutorial for basically every possible pure Orcust combo, more focusing on how to interact with the cards specifically in field zones and card resource management. This will have combos that are going to be specific towards my build of the deck near the latter end of the video, and I will be doing a profile at the very end, just going over the basic list. But for this first combo, it's just going to be one Girsu and a normal summon. We're going to normal summon the Girsu. We're going to activate Girsu. Depending on what we have in hand, we can send whatever. But we really want to be sending Harp, so we're going to be sending Harp off this for the basic one-card combo. We're going to activate Girsu. We're going to put a token on our field and their field to insulate us from Imperm from now on out. We're going to make a Linkuriboh with our token, and then we're going to activate Harpor here. We're going to special summon Orcust Nightmare just because it lets us get any of the other ones, and it has a little bit more flexibility than any of the other ones. We're going to make Girsu and Nightmare now into Galatea, keeping this Linkuriboh around. Now we can activate that Nightmare. We can target the Linkuriboh, it doesn't matter. Depending on what we want, we can have World Wand here or Skeleton, depending on what we're missing. But we're going to send Skeleton here just so we have that in rotation, because that one is a quick effect off of Babel and World Wand is not. We're going to activate Galatea. We're going to put our Harpor back, and then we're going to set a Babel. Then we're going to activate. You can also add Crescendo here. It just depends on what you fear more. If you want to have multiple instances of spot interaction, like removal with Girsu and such, or have the ability to protect your field by attaching, I would recommend going with that with Crescendo. However, you can prevent with the Crescendo, you can prevent Duster and stuff immediately. So it's like a give and take. Now that we have that Nightmare in the Banner Stone, we can make a Girsu right over here. We don't even have to activate that Symbol Skeleton, so no fear of that getting end-phased Magna Mudded, because we can chain it to at least get something. Like our Galatea, once we link our Girsu off. And Girsu, we're going to attach. We do actually need to use a Symbol Skeleton here to bring back our Girsu. And since we did that in chain, we can attach that Symbol Skeleton. And then we are going to make an IP Masquerena. And then we do actually have one extra link material on board for the IP. So this is a one card like Unicorn and stuff. You don't even have to use your Girsu engrave. And you have options with the skeleton, either bring Galatea or Girsu. You have all the best ones you can bring back engrave, just loaded up for you. The one issue is that if you do use Symbol Skeleton to bring out Galatea or Girsu, you gotta be attaching with Girsu, or you gotta have another Orcust play in hand, or this doesn't really do too much, because in order to get that Nightmare back in rotation, you'd have to make another Girsu with the Galatea, which is that once per turn summon. So that's what I mean by managing the resources and thinking about future turns. Because a lot of the times when I mess up on my resource management, I really pay for it later down the line. Well, let's get on to the next example. Okay, welcome back, guys. This is going to be our Cartesia basic combo. And then after these basic combos, this deck is mostly a flex pile, so I'm actually going to be doing some basic test hands, presuming that we'd be going first to show you what this deck actually can do on the fly and explain my reasoning for my plays. So here we're going to normal summon our Cartesia. This is a quick effect, so if your opponent shotguns Imperm or a Veiler, not really reading, we can always respond. We can use a Veiler and Cartesia to make a Grand Gugunal. We can use the effect here. We can send a Nightmare. We can activate Nightmare. We can target this. We can send a Harpor. We can activate this Harpor that we did just send to special summon a Girsu. Then we can activate Girsu's effect. This entire combo is very nice because it puts an extra body that doesn't have to translate into a Link monster. Unlike Girsu, because Girsu makes the token that then becomes a Linkuriboh. So unless you don't use the token to make the Galatea, the Linkuriboh, then you'd rather keep the token to make the IP. So you're left with that sort of dilemma, while this one, there's no such issue, because this is a monster that can be used both for Galatea and IP. So off this, we'd be sending our skeleton. Then here we'd be linking off. We're going to send our Grand Guignol, because it even has a graveyard effect attached to it too, which is very nice. We're going to activate our Galatea. We're going to put back our Harpour. We're going to set the Babel. We are going to activate said Babel. Here we're actually going to activate our Symbol Skeleton. We're going to target our Girsu. We already activated Girsu, so it doesn't really do much. But the main thing is it puts Symbol Skeleton, a target that we want to be putting in Banish Zone, in Banish. So we can then make the Ding Girsu to reattach it, so it's in Grave with the Babel for our opponent's turn. And Girsu is a non-link Orcust that just is always going to be in the grave at the end of that combo that we can use to make an IP Masquerena. That's why we do that. And then, so at the end of this turn, so if we end turn, our Cartesia is going to activate its effect since Grand Guignol was sent to grave as a link summon material. It's going to add itself back to hand as like a discard fodder for anything or a play starter on our next turn. We have our Symbol Skeleton to bring back Girsu, Ding Girsu, or Galatea, and then we have IP Masquerena to make Long Girsu, Unicorn, SP Little Knight. Or we could even make another Galatea if we really wanted to set a card. It just really depends. So just this combo just ends with such a flexible like end board. I just really like it, and definitely your hands do change how this looks. But this is kind of like the base level that you're trying to look for every single game, no matter what. It's kind of like the basic Nightmare Mermaid combo, where it always ended on that like exact same Orcust board. It's kind of like that in my mind. So now we're going to be going on to some test hands. Alrighty, so this is going to be our first test hand, looking really, really powerful. We got our Cartesia Combo. We opened a Babel so we can search it. We only have one search target off Ecclesia, actually. We have Orcust Return plus World 1, and we're actually going to just start with that, to be honest. And wow, that just got so much better. We're not even going to be using this Spriggan's Kit. We're going to normal summon our Cartesia, and we're even protected from Imperm, too. Like, nothing stops this hand. Wow, that's very powerful. It's one of the higher tier hands. We're going to activate Grand Guignol, and we're not going to chain anything else. Let's turn chain off, in fact. Off of this, we already have a Nightmare Engrave. We could always just send another one just to fully load it. However, I do want resources in deck, because that's one of the things we do kind of have to juggle with this deck. We can send a Bestial Saronir to then, in turn, send the Bestial Lubellion to grave. I think that sounds pretty alright, just to get those resources out of deck. Send the Saronir and send the Lubellion. Then here's just the basic Orcust combo. We do already have that World Wand in rotation, so it's going to be a lot further end board than previous basic combos. We're going to go Girsu here. We're going to send our Symbol Skeleton. Then we are going to make our Galatea. Since we are going to be searching the Crescendo off of this, we do want to end on a Link monster, which is something to note. We're going to set that Crescendo back here. Here we're going to activate our World Wand. We're going to get back that Nightmare, so we're going to have that for our opponent's turn, which is very relevant. Might as well activate this Babel now. Oh, that's my heater. So then here we can use our... We need to keep the Symbol Skeleton. That's the main issue, is keeping the Symbol Skeleton. We can put one in grave at instant speed on our opponent's turn, but that does lock us into darks very early on. But I think we can definitely afford to do that given the setup and the amount of recursion that we already have. So over here, we're going to first go into a Ding Girsu. And then we're going to activate the effect to attach. So we're going to have that. Then we are going to link these two off into an IP Masquerena. Then we're going to activate our Symbol Skeleton now into a Galatea, so it's pointing to the IP to protect it from battle. So even if they go to combat, they have to run over the IP first to protect this from, like, I don't know, not even, it doesn't even protect it from, like, Cyber Dragon, I guess. And yeah, that's pretty much the basic combo. We're going to set this Book of Moon and then pass it over. Then phase we have Cartesia for the full combo next turn. We didn't have the stuff in grave already. Literally on their first action, doesn't really matter if it's a normal monster or not, just immediate Nightmare on our Galatea to send that symbol skeleton, and then we can immediately get access to that again. So that's going to be the combo. We even have, like, you know, the crescendo for whatever they got. We got Book of Moon to flip their guy face down. During the end phase, we can, you know, we can do whatever. Okay, next hand. All right, this is a very good looking hand too. We have Cartesia, we have Brandon, High Spirit, and Nightmare, and Kit. Here, what I'm tempted to do, we even have the Book of Moon. I'm tempted to activate Brandon, High Spirit here just to put the Nightmare on Grave so I can send something off the Cartesia. However, it's just going like minus, so I think it's better if not. We don't search, so there's no real playing around role in this deck. Everything that we do like sends to grave or specials from deck. We're gonna make Grand Gugnol right now. We're gonna activate that effect. We also do have the book for that or the Cartesia, so unless I got doubles. Here we can send World Wand. We didn't send it last time since we had it in hand, so we can send that now just to get that same board going. We're not going to be able to have the counter trap on top of it, but I believe that's perfectly reasonable. Harp, and then Harp is going to special Girsu, and then Girsu effect is going to activate. We're going to send our symbol. Then we're going to make our Galatea. We're going to go Galatea. We're going to put the Harp back. This time we're going to have to grab our Babel. Just because I believe Babel is so powerful for this deck, and that's personally why I'm gonna try the runic version, but I'm a little bit hesitant just because of the fighting field spells per se. We're gonna go World Wand here. We're gonna special summon back this Nightmare. We're going to exact same as last time. You see how even given different hands, as long as you have a Cartesia and like some specific like concurrent things happening, we can do the same thing all the time, just from like, because all the cards in our deck functionally do the same thing. So this deck should be making like very similar looking boards, and they may look underwhelming, but like, look at that book. We got Branded and High Spirit. We can activate this to search another Cartesia if we really wanted to, although that wouldn't be the play. But this is the exact same situation as the last game, and we're gonna do one more test hand before I go into the profile. Alrighty, so this test hand is looking really sussy. You see we opened a lot of non-engine. We got a Harp and a Lubellion. What's nice about the Lubellion is Lubellion is a one-card starter. We can add that Magnum one. We can just activate it, get the Lubellion out of the way. It's unfortunate we're not going to be able to activate its on-field effect, but it served its purpose to be a one-card starter, because then we can normal summon that Harp Horror, and then we are sitting very nicely here. So we can activate that effect to link. We link them in Galatea, make the Girsu, activate the Girsu effect. Off Girsu here, we can send a Nightmare. Then we can use Nightmare. Target our Galatea, doesn't really matter. We can send ourselves a Skeleton. We can activate Galatea, we can put our Harp back. We can set our Babel. We can activate this Babel. Then we can make our Dingirsu. Off Dingirsu, we're going to attach that. Then we're going to make an IP Masquerena. We have our symbol skeleton engrave. Turn that off. And then we get our Magnum. That's the reason I feel very confident with this board, because we get one more piece of interaction in hand, being Baldrake, being able to banish monsters special summon from the extra deck. Double Imperm, called by Baldrake, IP Masquerena into like an SP, and then a Dingirsu on top of that with full Orcust combo on the follow-up. I think that was pretty good for a singular Bestial Lubellion plus an Orcust Harp Horror. Like, I think that's pretty good. And now on to the deck profile. Okay guys, this is going to be the full deck profile. I believe I already showed it before. in one of my last Orcust videos, which did get a lot of views, so I very much appreciate that. Triple Girsu, this is one of the better normal summons. I didn't like, the reason I'm incorporating in Cartesia is because I want more normal summons. I don't want to have to normal summon Harpoor. I want to be able to do more. And Cartesia being able to just be like functionally an Armageddon Knight on normal summon and maybe getting a potential card out of your hand that you want in your grave is just very nice. As well as the ability to be searched. Like, old Orcust played Reinforcement of the Army plus Armageddon Knight. Why wouldn't I play 3 Armageddon Knight and 3 Reinforcements of the Army if it just says discard a card? Like, that seems a little silly not to be playing it. But it is a largish engine on, like, the topic. It is 10 cards, 4 in the extra, 6 in the main. And if you're counting kit, which you really shouldn't be, but it is part of, like, the connecting the Bestials and this engine. Okay, back onto the profile. We're on double Nightmare, double Symbol Skeleton, 1 Harp, 1 World Wand. We are on double Baldrake, 1 Lubellion, 1 Druis Worm, 1 Magnemite, and 1 Saronir. Triple Blazing Cartesia, one of our starters to fuse off. We are on triple Veiler, a Spriggan's Kit to search either Regained or our High Spirits to be the searcher for our searcher if we really need to, but we really don't want to be doing that. This is also just an advantage card, to be honest, a very cuttable card, because in our basic combo, if we use Branded High Spirit, pitch, and Orcust, we send Sprint and we can special this to get Regained if we didn't get into our branded portion of our deck. That's the main reasoning behind that. A Tier Limit Cheering because we're a graveyard deck. I already went over the Veiler. 1 Foolish Burial because it's also full combo. An Orchestrated Return because it's just a very powerful card and we're playing a large quantity of Orcust and World Legacy card right there. Triple Book of Moon because this just functions very powerfully. It's functionally called by the grave for our Cartesia because they can't ash it. We're normal summoning it so they can't like use those types of effects. So the only things that's going to be really stopping it is Veiler and Imperm, and then maybe that one of Gamma if someone really, like, you know, wants to piss me off. Triple Brandon High Spirit, you reveal a monster, you send something with the same type from it as your extra. That's a level 8 fusion that has 25 attack or defense. And then you add a card that mentions Albaz, which Cartesia does. And then it fits in your grave, and a fusion summon card was sent to the grave, or sorry, a fusion card was sent to grave. You can add it back to your hand at the end phase, which is the same effect Cartesia has. Which also makes Cartesia very powerful, is just gaining advantage. We are on triple Droplet, and then the Called By, of course. Droplet is very powerful in this deck since just discarding cards is not a cost at all in this deck. And we can prevent our Girsu and Cartesia from getting negated if we send them. Cartesia getting negated, though, if you do send the Cartesia, you better have another one in hand. Branded Regained, such a powerful card in this deck. That's why I'm playing the Lubellion. The Bestials are just good hand traps in general, in my opinion. But the ability to get Branded Regained is just so powerful in Orcust because it basically makes your engine never die. In Orcust, sometimes you have the issue where if you overextend and you banish too many cards and you don't actually manage to close the game, your next turn is going to be weak since all of your stuff is banished and you have nothing in your deck. Like, your Girsu does nothing at that point if there's nothing in your deck. Same with your Nightmare, same with your Harpoor. If all your Symbol Skeletons are banished and your World Wand is banished too, like, you can't do anything except shuffle things back with the links. So with Branded Regain, just constantly shuffling things back and drawing cards, like, it's just so powerful. Also, it beats SP Little Knight, like, straight out. 1 Babel since it's searchable. I'm actually genuinely tempted to play 2 of this card, or at least 1 in the side, because this is just such an important card. And if it gets, like, banished off of, like, a runic card, like, I'll be very sad. Triple Infinite Impermanence for our hand trap, and then lastly, a Crescendo is a searchable card. This is something we can side out when we know we're going second. Double Granganol, because we can also activate it, reveal Veiler or Cartesia to search a Cartesia. We can also send it off itself, I believe. You can send it off itself. Has a pretty good graveyard effect to summon Lulu, which is just a negate. Sprinda, how I mentioned, is our Orcust target. Not really relevant other than that. 1 Link Karibo, 1 IP Masquerena, and SP Little Knight. Like, these are like the backbone of this deck. This deck is just so much more powerful than it was before because of like the new tools IP got.
2 Galatea, a Nightmare Unicorn. We are playing Nightmare Unicorn. I would like this to be the secondary SP, but it is nice being able to activate both SP and Unicorn on my turn. To just remove 2 things. Just having the ability to do it twice is nice. Long Girsu, that's also the reason why I'm not too pressed, because Long Girsu also has a similar scent effect, which is becoming so much more relevant with cards summoning stuff to like link zones and everything, and people just not playing around it. Because it sends any linked card. Not like it doesn't have to be linked by your cards. Like people don't play around it, and I see why they don't. Like it's not, they don't expect it. An access code to just pop cards and finish the game. We only have Dark, so we can only pop 1 card per turn. Doubled in Girsu, so we always have access to it. Just an overall fantastic card. And lastly, a Sky Crisis, because it is a Dark, so we can summon it under our Orcust lock. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video is a little bit longer, as you guys can see. Again, so there's not going to be any intro bit. Thank you guys for appreciating the fact that there's no intro bit. For these like replays and combo tutorials, I don't want to put intro bits because I don't think it's really fitting the type of video. Thank you guys so much for watching, if you still are, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.